How's it going, everyone? Welcome to day number 84 in Walking Across the Earth in Minecraft. We are in Canada still. I really shouldn't even waste my energy to explain what country we're in, considering we're in like the second largest country in the entire Earth. So you get the point. We're still in Canada, in the land of maple syrup. So that's cool. Let me just get the tunes going, so we can enjoy that. Yeah, so here we are. What? I swear I just looked like 5 seconds ago and it was straight up daytime. Like, oh, now it's time for sleep. Oh. Don't mind me. I know you always see me being completely unprepared by the time that I just start recording. And I just basically try to set everything up right as I actually just start the entire episode. Which is unfortunate. Yes, I should probably try to be a little bit better at doing that, but this axe is going to completely just get wrecked really soon. Actually, probably within only about one more hit left in it, even if I were to grab some magic mushrooms. I don't know if that actually causes damage. Have to find out. So yes, we're on the Yukon Trail, or Yukon Highway. Alright, this should do it in for it. Yep. I want to get that workbench. I need to slaughter me some meat so I can keep feeding the two brats that are following me. I do not have any stone. That's why we got one of these things. Cool, we know how to survive. It's not like it's on easy mode or something. You know, I just realized no one's really complained about this, but I know it's like a sensitive gamer moment when you have to talk about FOV or something like that. It's like a really emotional issue apparently with gamers. I don't know why, but where is it? You want to increase FOV? Yeah, only 80 something episodes in. Okay, what is this? This is like automatic or something? Oh. That's not that. I mean, this is Optifine, so it should come with it. Oh. Don't mind my complete blindness. But you know what? This just starts looking annoying when you get to the point where anything more than this, I'd say, looks pretty god-awful. I guess it has something to do with, like, people just having different eyes. Maybe you just have, like, your eyes have a different refresh rate than mine. Or some crap, like, you got different Wi-Fi in your brain. I'm working with Comcast in my brain. Let's move on. So I don't need, I've never noticed an issue of me finding it bad to have lower FOV. I'm also, it's probably also just because I've never really cared about actually being a professional gamer or something like that. Just never been an issue. Wait, did I just... No, I did not leave that. How's your tails at? Well, almost getting there. So I thought I would update you on some more supernatural encounters since that's probably the most interesting side plot to this entire Let's Play series, traveling across the Earth. Even though, in reality, obviously it's not like it's really something that anyone most likely stays tuned for or pays attention to. If there is even one person who watches all the way through every single one of these episodes, first of all, I'd just like to say thank you, but also get help. And seriously, we should probably reevaluate doing that. I would like to say, I don't even know where I was going with that. Oh yeah, if anyone's watching all the way through one of these episodes, then you're probably just doing it for the ambient music sounds and nothing else. I couldn't imagine that you'd actually be wanting to listen to my ridiculous life tales and stories. But generally, when it comes to the ghost experiences and encounters, or the overall ghost status of my current living conditions, it fluctuates in these cycles where it gets decent and then it gets worse over time. Sometimes there'll be no activity, and then it'll be it's like a whole bunch all at one time. It's like a montage of stuff. If you were to have your own haunted house that you lived in, then you'd probably get that same idea. You would just understand. I'm gonna actually get one of these. Well, I wouldn't actually say that this house is haunted. Actually, it's not haunted at all. It's more or less occupied by something else. Just... it's intelligently occupied. Now that could either come off as being me being very... me being very narcissistic or something. Flexing on you. But I'm not referring to me, I'm talking about the actual other supernatural thing that is here, having its own intelligence. I like to think that somehow it likes to have its own agenda or schedule to write in the certain times where it's going to start messing around with me. That's basically what it likes to do in its day-to-day adventures. And sometimes it just gets bored and it just doesn't mess around at all with me. Most recently, there'll be like... There's lots of certain things that you can notice that can really be definitive for you to realize that, alright, something's going on here. Or there's a higher energy presence here than normal. And it's something you could also confirm with other people who've experienced or who actively go into the field of supposedly supernatural and haunted things in order to investigate. That you'll just you'll start to become accustomed to the overall mood that you get in when you're around something that's like that. Like for me, it'll always be like I'll see some stuff in the corner of my eye just doing daily business. Not like normal, not like the normal like floating type things that you might have in your eye that might flicker in the corner. It's obviously just some artifact in your eye itself. But it'll be like some actual obscurity in the corner of the wall or some structure that might be nearby where I'm at, and it'll just feel like this presence of something being there, but then obviously it's not because you're just being silly. But then of course there's always that afterthought of thinking, well, what if it actually was something? Just clearly just some, at face value, just kind of like a childish type fear. Similar to like the fear of the dark as an example. I don't know if we've actually gone 3 kilometers so far. But you seem to somehow be able to tell, at least if you're me. I certainly don't think I have some kind of sixth sense that's special. So definitely, you should be able to tell when there's a difference between just normal hallucinations and actual things going on around you. It would just be some days we'll be turning the corner and seeing like some shadowy type thing like in the place that you were just coming from or something like that. You turn and you would see it, like it wouldn't just be not there, like, you know, just something in the corner of your eye. Like you would turn and you'd actually see something for like the very smallest little second, like almost as if it's just like a visual illusion or something, like something rushing around or something like that, some fairy type voodoo stuff. And it gets really trippy and awkward. And for me, it gets to the point where it's quite clear that there is something watching, because you get that same primal sense. Now that I know to be factually true, because that's like confirmed with biologists as a unwritten sense that you definitely have of being observed by something, especially in a predatorial manner, as if you can somehow perceive the sight of something else as being ominous or friendly. And if it's ominous, you can tell based off of some energy that is emitted from it, as if sight itself or the vision of whatever that thing would be watching you is somehow emanating an energy field, which I don't subscribe to any of that. That's quite ridiculous in my opinion. But there seems to be some kind of there is a connection. There is some Wi-Fi connection going on there when it comes to you being able to detect that. Something that has nefarious intentions observing you, you can tell. Because normal people look at you in everyday life while you're just existing, and you won't feel anything. But you feel it when someone's watching, or something is watching you, and you just know that that thing does not mean good things to you. It does not want to be friends, or it doesn't even feel neutral. Like it wants to do something bad to you. Or at the very least, it shouldn't be there. That is more or less the ultimatum of that whole thing, whether it means bad or not. So that's essentially the feeling that I'm accompanied with on these days where this shadow thing is following me. And it's always just at the very cusp of being perceivable. It's so not visible at the same time, or so not really understandable, that you just really want to chalk it all off to it's just silly and not real, as you'd imagine. Even I can't even be 100% sure if that's not truly what it is, just completely not real. But the feeling of being entirely watched, oh my god. What am I gonna do with you? You are just... How am I supposed to get up this hill with you? The feeling of being watched is not fake. That's a real sense. You developed it. I mean, you have to have it. 2 million years ago, you best hope that you can somehow know that you are instinctually being watched by some predator, because it's lurking in the bushes, and it's gonna get your ass if you don't know how to know that it's there. You know that this kind of thing is just, it's in there. It's programmed. So that's real. So that when that starts coming up, yeah, sure, you could say, yeah, it's it's fueled by hysteria. But I don't buy that either. It's not a feeling that just comes out of nowhere for no reason. Like, it has purpose. So when that starts summoning itself, you know that something is certainly awry. Because there's lots of creepy, cringy, awkward situations involving someone else or being around people in normal everyday engagements, or even being around animals that maybe want to be predatory to you, and you won't feel the ominous feeling of being watched. It's really a very specific thing. Like, it's only the most specific, like, you're being hunted. Like, you know you're being hunted by something that either doesn't want to do good to you, or it just wants to scare you. There's really only two options. So I guess that's like that's a better adjective for it. Is that even an adjective? I don't even know. It's being it's hunting. Like it's the sense of being hunted by something. And then just only a couple days after that started to subside, it would start to come back again. It's like, you just see, like, little thing, like, right in the corner, like, here, fluttering around. You look and it would just go whoop. It wouldn't just disappear. It would just go really fast. Like. So yeah. Hallucinations, sure, whatever. But the innate sense of knowing that something's not right is honestly not fitting into that theory, because that's 2 million years in the making. I mean, that's not easy to fool. I absolutely have no idea where I am. I'm going to have to... Oh, well, look at that. Wow, that's a... Can't drive down there. Okay. If I'm not mistaken... 3 kilometers? Oh, okay. Maybe. I really don't know. We'll have to wait till we are... Crap, that's a long distance until there's anything notable. Well, we'll just find... We'll find out. Won't we now? Now, one of the days it got, like, extremely unnerving to the point where it was like, alright, I know that there's something here. Usually when it gets me to the point where I'm talking to myself out loud about it, even though I'm alone, that's how you know that it starts being real. Like, alright, there's something actually here. Like, there's something going on. It's not just, you know, this is no longer just something in my mind. Like, alright. By the time I start doing that, it starts being more realized. Like, alright, so there's something here. And normally, all the presences that would be in this house are certainly not nefarious or ominous. They're just not caring and neutral. But this, whether it's being somehow stimulated by the normal, not caring presence, is certainly not the same. It is definitely ominous, and it has intentions. And if they are intentions that could be manifested humanly, then I don't think you describe them as being good. As you know, I'm a strong proponent to believing that any form of this supernatural type crap is not like some cliche textbook ghost that you'd see in some Disney movie or something. I don't subscribe to any of that. It's all scientific. It's gotta have... It's all natural. It's just unexplained. So on the day that, one of the days that it was really bad, that one day, which was only about, considering the making of this video, I have to say about 4.5 or 5 weeks ago. Because I do remember it was... This music does not fit this story. I remember that it was only a couple of days after I recorded my previous episode of this series at that time, which, considering my horrible upload schedule, was probably only like a couple of episodes ago. And I was going to sleep after that horrible day. It never wasn't a horrible day, it was just after that very anxiety-prone day of now being very much aware, looking over the shoulders and trying to figure out what's going on around here. And then going to sleep, and then right as I'm drifting into a sleep land, into normal type cycles, like you start like almost getting there, but you're not there. You get the point of that. I hear this like very distinct exterior sound coming from like very much sounding outside of my own mind, so it's not like some made-up sound. But I will definitely allow it to be a possibility that it somehow was just some audio fakeness, audio hallucination. But there was this very distinct rumbling sound that actually sounded quite a lot like a growling type sound. Kind of like this very guttural thing, mixed in between like what you would, if you were a sound effect artist, like an earthquake mixed with like a very poorly done impression of a bear or something like that, like as if it was a human making a bear sound. Like you can't make that sound. Like I can't even recreate it. It's like, no, I can't even. I'm not even gonna try to. Just so unnaturally impossible. And at the same time, it was just so clear and yet not fake. Like it wasn't just clearly like, okay, well that was just some hypnic jerk or something that happens when you wake up. Sometimes you hear sounds like some big bang. No, because I heard it. It had depth to it. Like, it came from a certain portion of the room in this direction. Like, and it was like underneath. It was the floor, but it was over there. And it was coming from underneath the floor. And it was just like, okay, well, that's fun. I am accustomed to this stuff, to these shenanigans. I just go straight back to sleep. I'm not gonna be the type to just stay up. Oh, I will not sleep because of that. I'm too nerved. It doesn't stun me at all. It doesn't scathe me to any extent. It is, like, always a fright when it happens. It's like you can't avoid being jump scared. It's just a natural nerve reaction. Your brain, in this instance, completely jerked me awake upon hearing that sound coming from the corner of my room. And that was right after, that was right on the day that those little shadowy things, those stupid things in the corner of your eye that you want to just, that probably lots of people see on a normal basis, except with me it's different. That was right on that day where it was just the absolute worst. It was getting so prevalent. Ever since that happened, though, there was nothing else. Whether I've just not been noticing it or not. There's literally been no other sightings of corner vision, shadow. What do you want? Don't look at me like that. Okay, so what do we have here? Well, this looks like that. Oh yeah, that's definitely that. We're at the lake. Well, we are at 5.3 km. And we are not going that far into Canada so far. Man, why is everything gotta be so big? there's more like there's more drastic examples of supernatural encounters where I guess you'd say if you are to believe supposedly that they are true, that the ghost was a little bit more was definitely a little bit more blunt about it. Where, like, for example, one instance was a story from someone who lived in this extremely haunted house. Even the word haunted house just sounds so cringy to say, but it's really the best thing that there is to describe it. One of the examples of a person living in a possessed house would have all these experiences to the point where they were just basically driven to insanity, where they couldn't really stay in the house anymore without losing their mind because so many things were going on. No one was believing them. Even their own family was in there and not believing them. And they're like, you know what, this is all made up. I'm not believing this. Like, this person, like, this from the perspective of, like, the younger offspring or the daughter or something, and their parents being their dad mainly, would be like, yeah, well, this is fake and you're stupid and I'm going to the store, so. And it'd be stuff like that. And then eventually even they would just be like, yeah, I guess I believe it now. Got so obvious. It'd be things like one of the stories personally recounted to me from that specific incident. I can't tell you any names or give you any information on what the actual identity of this storyteller is, or what the house is called, or whatever. There's obviously some kind of name to, oh, the blank house, the blank incident, whatever. I have no idea what that is. Well, they were just minding their own business. Like, they would just be minding their own business all the time, and they would have things happen to them. Like, they'd be like in the shower or something, and then they'd see this big shadow right outside their shower thing. And they would also, like, in the next room, their sister or brother would be minding their own business while that's happening, and they would hear, like, through the walls a very muffled, like, get her, get them now. Right at that time, right and right as she would hear her sister screaming because of that other thing happening. So it's like, okay, yeah, that's cool. That's not fun. But then this particular experience was, oh, look at that, a restroom. One review. Okay. Oh, great. I'm sure glad I decided to do that. So, in this particular experience, there was one story that stood out to be the absolute most scarring. And it wasn't some very unique, or it wasn't like some very original story or something like that. Oh my god, what am I doing? Where'd the frickin' marker go? Dude, I hate Google Maps. It sucks. Why are you all the way over there? Keep distracting me from my story and everything. Oh my god. This particular incident, out of all the stories, was that this girl was now far into all of the experiences, so they were kind of already very fed up with the house and all the things happening, and they were just really sick of it and not wanting to deal with it anymore and scared all the time anytime that they would be left alone. This person's probably only like definitely very young, into like only 12 or 13 years old, along with their sibling, which is probably the same age. And whenever they'd be left alone at this point, they'd be like super, like, they're just not having it, because almost every time someone was just alone in the house, like, the shit would just start cranking up the heat like crazy, and things would just start going absolutely insanely scary and haunted and crap, and it was just ridiculous. Well, this one particular time, they were left alone and they were minding their own business, and they were in their room, and they were on their iPad or on their iPhone and texting or calling not calling, you know, just whatever. I mean, I don't even know. So, and they hear this knock coming from inside of their closet. Not even outside their door, inside their closet. And their closet has a closed door. They hear, like, multiple knocks. Starts getting more and more frantic. Like, over and over again. They keep hearing, like, these knocks. Pounding on this door from the inside. Now, first of all, if that's me, if I even hear that, I'm jumping out the window. That's all there is to it with that. But, you know, that's clearly not what she does, because she's like, okay, well, what is going on here? And then she starts hearing this scummaging through the closet and moving around, and like stuff in the closet being moved. And like she's been sitting in the room, like just nothing was happening for a long time. So it's not like someone was just in there like for a short amount of time, like just hiding around. So all this is happening. She's like, okay. And she gets up. She's extremely scared. She's too scared to go run outside the room because the room is right next to the closet door. I mean, I don't know why you don't just run out of the room anyways. So she effectively corners herself in this room. She goes underneath the bed because it's like, well, what else is there to do, I guess? Instead of just leaving the room, because that's the most logical thing to do, but whatever. I'm just telling the story here. And this closet opens while she's under the bed. She has her phone out. And then she starts calling her... No, she waits to call her parents after that. Often she doesn't call when there's someone in the room. The person walks out of the room. She only sees their feet. And it's like these really just horribly disgusting feet. And they start like looking around, going around the bed, right up close to the bed like a frickin' cliche movie or something like that. And then they walk right outside the room, and then they start going around the house, and they hear the house muffled footsteps around the house, searching, going downstairs. And that's the time when she calls her parents on her phone. And she's like, OMG, Mom, there's like literally a invader in the house. Like, what do I do? Like, and the mom's like, call 911, obviously. So she calls 911, and she's on the phone. I do believe I'm recounting this correctly. I'm not sure if she was on 911. She might have stopped being, like, she just couldn't really continue talking with whoever the operator was, because this thing comes back up the stairs, and she starts hearing the footsteps going up the stairs. Running up the stairs, by the way, like, not slowly, like it was walking around slowly before. It starts running all the way up the stairs, all the way down the hall, back straight into her room, and straight to the corner, right to the edge of her bed, where the person's feet, this person's, or thing's feet, is like inches away from the girl's face. And then this thing just gets up onto the bed, like, so it just sits on the bed and the feet go up, so she can't see anything anymore. And she's like, okay. And then next thing you know, she sees this horribly disfigured, just disturbing, just completely not correct, not even human face slowly peer underneath the bed right at her. Bruh. And at that point, she's just frozen in complete fear and just lets out screaming. And this face is like, not clearly not at this point. It's not a human being. It's a ghoul. It's some creature. And this thing just quickly goes back up, and then she feels like the pressure on the bed on top of her like disappear. But like she doesn't see the feet go down. I mean, like, or you know. So she's just frozen in fear under her bed for like 30 minutes until cops come to her house. She finally gets the courage to get up. And bro, I'm telling you, I'm not sure if I'm gonna sit here saying I believe that, but that's ridiculous. That's got to be the most stupid, scary thing I've ever like heard in my whole life. If I see like if that were to happen, like that would just make my brain turn into a black hole. I would be so scared. seeing that happen. It would be too much. It would be overload. I would just die. It would be instant death. It's too much scared. Too much fear. It's just so... That's just... Like, you would not be meant to handle that kind of a scary situation. That's why I was... I'm not gonna sit here and say that that's real. It was more so kind of like an aspect of the story, of the many stories that came from this person's family living in this house. Which was certainly not at all a pleasant time. So yeah, there's two different levels of that kind of stuff. There's the supernatural, there's the ghosty crap, and then you got like the cryptids type crap. You can almost imagine it as being like two different fandoms. Like Star Wars fanboys and Star Trek fanboys. Oh, I like those cryptids. I like that Bigfoot. I like that Mothman type crap. No, I'll tell you what. I like that ghost stuff. I like that Queen Mary ghost stuff. I like the... What's it called? Like... I like all that haunted house and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Phasmophobia. Whoa, look at this. In my opinion, when it comes to like stuff like Bigfoot on the other hand, that's just all complete nonsense, honestly. Like, it's just ridiculous. And it's because, first of all, it's understandable if there's some kind of scientific explanation. Maybe interdimensional stuff when it comes to ghosts. That's the explanation. We can't observe it yet. We're not advanced enough to know what it is. But it makes sense. It's just another thing that, well, it's not discovered yet. It adds up because they're freaking invisible. If they don't need to eat food, they don't leave a biosignature. But when it comes to Bigfoot, you're telling me, like, okay, here's what you're telling me. So you have this giant ape man creature, which it's apparently just a straight ancestral. It's connected ancestrally to all humans, meaning it's been here as long as we have. So therefore, it can't really be. It's not like it could be so endangered that it's just that there's like 5 or something in the whole world, and that's why you can't see any of them. So there's got to be quite a plethora around here. All right, if they're some kind of direct cousin to all of humanity this whole time, because you need a large population to sustain a population. Like, you can't just, you get the point. So you're telling me then, in that case, they gotta be so elusive and so unbelievably, like, hard to see, like, that nothing about any of their existence, no physical proof or anything has ever been found. There's been no DNA. There's been no fur samples. There's been no dead bodies that have even... I mean, what do they do with their dead bodies? They gotta die. Has no one ran into a dead body? Like, they got... You're telling me that Bigfoot's like just another species, right? Obviously. You're not saying that Bigfoot is supernatural. I mean, some people probably believe that, but it's... Let's be real. The idea of Bigfoot is just another animal. So why would this animal be so caring about somehow hiding itself any more than all the other animals? Like, animals try to avoid us. They live off in the wilderness, but they're not trying to play hide and seek with us. And on top of that, they're not so damn good at playing hide and seek that they... nothing about them has ever been found. I just think that scientifically... Look, we would have found it if it existed when it comes to Bigfoot. Look, we're talking about terrestrial creatures here. You can get me when it comes to undersea creatures, obviously. That makes sense. Because we only explore like 5% of the ocean. We don't know what the hell's going on in there. Obviously. But on Earth, let's be real, man. We basically got all of the things covered on Earth, on the surface. We got our bearings straight. Almost every inch of land that is habitable by basically any creature like Bigfoot has been explored, cultivated, hunted for thousands of years. And I just really find it hard to believe how nothing concrete has ever been found. Like, no one has literally just said, hey, this is the dead body of Bigfoot, and it hasn't turned up to be some obvious fake. I just think that it would have been found. Like, it wouldn't be a mystery, you know? So you can tell me, like, Loch Ness Monster, that exists. You could tell me Cthulhu freaking exists. And you could tell me anything you want about that. Look, I'll take, well, I won't take your word. I mean, you still need to prove it, but I'll be like, you know what? Agree to disagree, but I can't tell you you're wrong because, yeah, obviously, no one knows what that frick is going on. 10,000 meters under the surface of the ocean. In the Mariana Trench. Like, you get what I'm saying? That's just one spot, too. So yeah, it's like, well, okay, fine. It's understandable. And it makes sense how there could possibly be some humongous scary thing that actually lives there. Because it would actually be possible for that to happen and not go extinct. Because the water being secluded and all that. But I'm sorry, I just don't buy it when it comes to some large apex predator that lives on land somehow being around since 2 million years ago, just like us, but yet it must be some kind of... It's gotta be high on the food chain. It's humongous, it's muscular, but yet there's no evidence of it anywhere. No DNA, no nothing. No bodies, no left behinds, no nothing. I mean, that's just, it just doesn't make sense. Sorry. So, I'm sorry. There's nothing you could do to convince me that Sasquatch is real. It's not real. Hate to break it to you. I know you just love watching Duck Dynasty, and you're that type of person who believes in that kind of stuff, but reality's kind of harsh. Hate to ruin your fun. Yeah, you're more than half dead, aren't you? Actually, I brought up a bad example. I know Loch Ness Monster is definitely not real. I mean, you get it, like, we're just Scooby-Dooing all the way through all the mysteries. To be honest with you, I damn believe in Cthulhu. Like, I'm not kidding. I believe in Cthulhu more than I believe in Bigfoot. I'll tell you, there's no such thing as a Squatch, but there is a Cthulhu. You're gonna find Cthulhu before you find a Squatch. Well, that's cool. It gives you a little elevation profile. Wow. Hold on. I didn't... Okay, well, that's neat. Look at that. See that? It now tells you how high you've gone. You go up 69 meters. That's right. Well, we're in between 729 and 798 meters. Let's see if it's correct. Yep, we're at 790. Oh, I already got 64. Oh, nice. The meat. Oh, stop it. Ah, stop! Oh, Lord. Wow. This is weird. Oh my god. How do you manage to teleport into the frickin' ground every time? God. Oh my... You know what? What even is this? What do you want me to do, game? Stop whining. It's not my fault the game's trash. Now this is extreme living like Larry. Okay, you're gonna have to bear with me with this one. What are you doing down there? God, you complete lazy little frick. Get over here, right now. And eat the meat. You're gonna need it. Oh my god. Oh my... Would you actually stop? Oh wow, isn't that nice? These frickin' things have taken so much... They've been through so much pain. Okay, we are going to end it right there. Yep. And that's about that. Sleep. For next day. Okay, so that's the end of this episode. We are right here. Oh, there they are. The Canadian bikers. The Canadian bacon. So now we're going the other way. For some reason. It looks a whole lot hotter around here. Well. Yeah. That should do it for today. And I'll see you next time.